I'll give you guys a few minutes to stroll in. Then I'm going to build and talk about the early slate. I don't know if Bobby's going to see this. We were planning on just going over the main slate at noon, but then I realized earlier this morning that there was the noon slate, so kind of called an audible for myself and said I was going to go live here at 11:15. I don't know if he even saw the message. So if he gets here, great. If not, I will just go and go through it. And then we will talk about the main slate, I guess, after the noon slate locks. And then we'll talk about PGA as well. In addition, I'm going to do a live sweat tonight at, I presume, 11 p.m. Let's see where that would actually take us. That would be, I just want to see what the game schedule would be for tonight. That would be, yeah, they're late enough games, so yeah, that would work. Yeah, so Bobby's going to come on probably in about 5 minutes, and then we will talk about. Then I don't think he's playing the early slate, but we can kibitz at least a little bit about it, and then he'll be ready, I presume, to talk about the main slate. Yeah, yesterday evening was very poor for me in the big buy-in. Did pretty well in everything else, but that 33, I really think I got last. I'm not sure, but it was that's including like my main stack being Arizona, who scored 7 runs. So I don't know exactly what I did wrong, but we'll try to do better. We'll try to do better today. So what's interesting to me as we wait, well, actually, I'll wait just a couple of minutes for Bobby. I'll give you a couple of updates. So again, we're going to be doing the golf preview a little later. I'm going to be doing an MMA preview either today or tomorrow. And for those of you that have been asking, I am playing the live final this weekend. I'm not actually going to be in Jacksonville for it. But listen, it's pretty exciting. I mean, 15th place is 10,000 and first place is 250,000. That's a very, very tough ask because not only am I up against pretty much all really, really good players, but there's one fight that you have to have, and there are several people with multiple entries. So, I mean, it's pretty clear they're gonna split exposure on that fight. So, not only do I have to get that fight right for openers, and it's like a pick'em fight, but not only do I have to get that right, but then I have to beat those people who got it right. You know, so it's who I know are going to get it right. So it's a tough spot, but it is what it is. Hey, what's up, Rich? So the first thing I guess I would like to say about the slate is that the pitching is you can do a lot of things here. You know, you could play Matt Boyd at 5,800 if you wanted to do that. He rates to be the top point per dollar play on this, on the board for me. But there are other things you can do. Well, first of all, at the top, Gausman and Gallen certainly look like very, very reasonable options. And then just like gazing at it, Taj Bradley, he's got strikeout upside. Sandy Alcantara at 7,900. I mean, that looks like a good play. Then you have that Andrew Abbott guy from Cincinnati at 8,200. And also, if you wanted to pay down, you could pay down for, did I say Brady Singer? Brady Singer and Rich Hill. And the thing is that all of these guys are within like one standard deviation of each other as far as my value score goes. So it's pretty interesting. Like what I'm probably going to do is just kind of play the ownership game, and probably my big buy-in probably just play Brady Singer. But you can just go in any which way as far as those. Matter of fact, just because you guys are here and Bobby's not here quite yet, let me share my screen and show you just kind of what it looks like. So this is the rating of the players by Sheets value score, and you see that everybody, all these pitchers are really, really close to one another. And what usually I like to do in that situation is literally just take the lowest owned guys. So Matt Boyd, Alcantara, and Singer, I guess, in GPPs. Now, again, that depends on what you're going to be doing hitting-wise. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But these are kind of cool GPP type slates when there's no one pitcher you actually absolutely must have. Now, on the other hand, let's take a look at the stacks, the way they kind of rate. So I'll rate them a couple of ways. First way I'll rate them in just as far as raw points go, and you'll see Cincinnati is kind of at the top of the list, as they have been pretty recently, facing Colorado pitching at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's obviously a really, really good hitting park nowadays. And then underneath that, you have kind of a clear second in our favorite Arizona again. Okay, so they're a little bit worse, but they rate to be decently lower owned. And then you go down and you have a little bit of a drop to Houston and Chicago, and you're not getting any break ownership-wise with Houston, and you're really not getting that much of a break with Chicago either. So I guess that Arizona would probably be the top just kind of overall stack if you didn't care about salary. And then kind of waiting in the wings is kind of like a really low-owned Tampa option. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Houston certainly looks reasonable, but I mean, just according to the numbers, they're just kind of fine. You're not getting much of a break, so I don't think it's anything particularly leveragey about them. They're probably a decent play, but they're going to be one of those teams, Rich, that if you want to know the truth, if I were going to play them in GPPs, I'd probably want to pair them with the lower owned pitchers. That would be my opinion, at least. Now, what I like to do is rate these again by modified stack, because that gives you a sense of the value part of it. And you'll see Chicago show up as the top value, and you'll recall that they're actually really close to the top as far as raw too. So that does render Chicago a very, very strong play. Detroit shows up as good value. KC shows up as good value. And then you see Arizona and Cincinnati. And again, so this is what I like to see, especially with DraftKings. So again, I've been doing these sheets for a couple of years now, and I kind of learned how they look. And FanDuel, it's pretty easy to be the top projection from a raw points perspective, and also from a value perspective. It's not as easy in DraftKings. So when you do get that situation, you should probably take note. So I would say that if you didn't care about ownership, Chicago, Arizona, and Cincinnati would probably be the best plays. And so if it's Chicago, Arizona, and Cincinnati, I guess Arizona would be the best, I think, overall. But I think it's close. So what are we talking about here? So again, the good plays, I guess, Cincinnati, Arizona, Chicago. And then I guess Houston, you got to consider them in there. And then if you could get to these Tampa guys, they rate close enough, and they're going to be really, really low owned. So, again, I imagine they're really expensive, which is why, they're going to be low owned here. So this is probably where you'd have to probably pay down for pitching. So like just for kicks, let's just see what a lineup like that would look like. I mean, I can't actually do the actual lineup, but I will show you like an example. Hold on. I'm just going to pull up the. Okay, so just for his example, let's clear the field here and put in these Tampa guys. And again, we're just going to try to see what it would take to play these expensive, because I presume they're expensive, which is why they're showing up as good points, but low ownership, because it's probably difficult to get to. But let's see. That would be Arozarena, Diaz, Franco, Ramirez, Paredes. So let's put all those guys in. Ramirez, Paredes, Franco, and who the fifth one was? Who the fifth one was? Who's the fifth one? It's like Diaz. That would be first base, $5,200 Yandy Diaz. Okay, so if you were going to do that, I mean, you probably wouldn't be able to even physically play Gauss, right? Yeah, because then you'd have to do another pitcher. But just for the hell of it, what if you did? What if you try to play Gaussman and Boyd, for example? I mean, you could almost do this. You know, you could fill in with 2700s and make this work, and get to these Tampas without having to sacrifice the raw points of Gaussman here. So that is something you could do, actually. Or if you're in like Boyd, you could just. I think Boyd and Singer are basically the same play. Well, I mean, actually, that's not exactly true. I mean, Boyd does have a little bit better projection, a little bit, but Singer is a little bit cheaper. So the other thing you could do if you wanted to make this kind of Tampa thing work is, and again, this is just the way I use my sheets, right? So you pull up the sheets here again, and you'll see which guys show up in both the value and the raw, because I just did the raw for this one. So who would drop off? It looks as though Franco would drop off as being just kind of like a little too expensive. So if we got rid of Franco and replaced him with Margot, for example. Hey, Bobby.
Hey, sorry about that. I didn't.
Morning slate. Yeah. So. So as I was just finishing saying, so I was just experimenting with kind of paying up for Tampa as a low owned thing. Did you look at the early slate at all or no?
I'm just looking for the first time right now.
Oh, okay. So you could do this. I mean, you could play Gaussman and still get away with this. The only thing you wouldn't be able to do is play Franco in this particular situation. So, and so I was telling everybody what we're probably going to do is probably at 12. We're going to probably record. We'll talk about the main slate, and then we'll do golf after that.
Yeah. You want to record what after this?
I don't want to say record. We'll go over the main slate. Is that what you prepared for?
I didn't prepare for anything. I usually don't prepare much before I usually do a little bit before we go on, but I like to do it fresh sometimes. Okay. But I can do the main slate right away after this. It's only, what is it, like 2 games? No, it's like 4. It's like, actually it's more than that because it's a 7-gamer. Then it must be like a 6-gamer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a 6-gamer at 7:00. The FanDuel starts at 6:40.
Yeah. Okay. I'm taking a little break from playing myself. I think I've had one day that I like broke even this month.
Well, then we'll save the main slate for when we do it later. We'll do golf at like 12.
Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect for me. I've actually gone over golf since Monday, so that's one I am ready for.
Okay, good.
I think if there's any other tournaments even available to get in this morning. Yeah. Oh no, just sold out the other one. Had 1 spot left. All right, but I can go over it. I'm ready. I'm looking at it now. I'm going through everything. I'm ready to talk about. Why don't you talk through a little bit about what you've been talking about for 10 minutes, or tell me a little bit about what you're doing, and I'll try to catch up a little bit while I'm going through it here.
All right. So as I was telling everybody before, I was going through the different stacks and different pitchers and stuff for the early slate, and it'd be interesting to get your kind of like gut take, just kind of looking at it like really quick, just kind of like your overall opinion, because the way I rated them, there was like so many different ways you can go, and there's good options. I mean, you have Gaussman, you have Zach Gallen, and then you have cheapos with like Brady Singer. Like Casey's playing Detroit, right? So you have both Boyd and Singer, like under 6K in that matchup. You know,
right.
So both of those guys, I don't even know which one's better. You know what I mean? I think both
Mm-hmm.
of those are good plays. I'm preferring Singer, I think,
Mm-hmm.
but that's kind of what I looked at. And then you'll probably just note just kind of this random like Sandy Alcantara at 7,900. I don't even know who they're playing, but whoever they're playing, he's a good price. You know what I mean?
Toronto.
Like,
Yeah.
right? So, so that
Yeah,
there's that.
it's interesting because it does feel like a lot of weird pricing discrepancies, and I understand like it's not like you said, like you were saying at first, that why you could spend up in both spots, but whether you really want to is another question. I do think the ceiling for Gaussman and Gallon are pretty high, but if they fail to meet it for any reason, I think that you should feel. I guess Taj Bradley too. But I would feel pretty decent about taking some shots on some of those guys you mentioned. I think Boyd is probably a much higher upside play than Singer. I don't think Singer's reached 20 yet this season.
No.
Boyd certainly has a number of times, actually most of the time. Well, mostly is right in that range, I feel like lately. So I definitely get the argument for spend down. I do like Alcantara in general. I am a little worried about this matchup for him, just because it's Toronto and they don't strike out and they hit the ball hard. But like, it's interesting to see because like, Toronto's got a 3.4 run total. Miami's got a 3 run total. If they're, Vegas has certainly given Alcantara the respect, and he has, after sort of a rough start, he had a really bad game against Washington last time out, but he started to look like he wrote the ship, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Right. I think righted the ship, actually.
Righted is the right way to put it.
I think so.
That's a tough one. I just think that I'm just surprised. And I really think he's still better than this price. But I've been wrong about him a number of times this year. And today is probably a day where I would have, had I played multi-entries, I would have probably been wrong about him again. Because I would have definitely played him some. But I do think if you like your stacks, you can, and you're able to get Gallon and Gaussman, and I do think that's the highest upside play.
Yeah. And not surprisingly, when I ran my builds at first, they tripled down on my Arizona from yesterday. And well, at least today it looks like it makes a little more sense. I mean, like Arizona does have it looks like the highest team total. At 5, followed by actually Cincinnati 5.3, and then Arizona at 5. Says Houston is close to 5 and Tampa is close to 5. So, and then they have Detroit. I mean, when Detroit with a 4.6 total. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's
yeah. It's going to be interesting with Teheran. Since he's been starting, he hasn't given up anything, and I do think the Diamondbacks make the most sense for sure. But it's just kind of funny because he's literally given up nothing.
Who?
Teheran.
Oh, it's Teheran again. Oh, my God. I'm going to try to beat that guy. That guy's impossible.
It's like every time I feel like we just are beating our head against a wall with this thing.
Yeah.
I would probably – I think Cincinnati, like I wouldn't – I just think that they're probably a little too popular for me if I was going to – if I was to be playing here. I think I would – but I guess Cincinnati and Arizona would be the chalk. I like Arizona. I like to get a shot even though – look, it hasn't worked out yet. I don't think this guy can walk between raindrops or whatever forever. And I think that Houston is completely viable. I like Houston would probably be my next team if I had to avoid the chalkier ones. I think Houston will be a little bit lower owned. Let me just double check that. Because we've seen McGill just really hasn't looked right. So let's see what we've got for Houston.
Oh, is there a lineup? Is there a lineup for Houston yet?
Probably not, which will keep the ownership down a little bit.
There is actually. It looks like
there is. Oh, must have just come out.
Oh yeah, because Jake Myers, it looks like he's out among other things.
Huh? That's weird. I'm looking at a lineup page. I still don't see it.
Yeah, Jake Myers looks like he's out. The Mets still don't have their. Bo Bichette is out for Toronto, which is something new, I think. It might be worth me just doing the whole other projection run just for him being out. But Alcantara now, I mean, now he looks a little bit better. I mean, not to say it's all about one guy, but that's boy, this is tempting.
The only thing, and like we're like Rich B's point about them always leaving him in too long. It's hard when you have an example and it's basically the whole thing. His whole strength was the fact that he could pitch so far into the game. So I don't know if I agree with that. I just think that it may just not be working out this year. It's hard. It's easy to say too long after the fact. It's not easy to say too long. You know what I mean? It's like when does it become too long? I can't even log into DraftKings. This is really irritating. I've been trying all morning or all 20 minutes. There we go. Keeps coming and cutting in and out.
Me?
No, my DraftKings for some reason just keeps cutting in and out. Anyway, sorry, back to it. Let's see.
Oh, so I may as well tell this story, by the way. So every year every once in a while I'll get like a slew of texts from people asking me where I am in Vegas because Eric Haber has a stack.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what that was. Yeah, so talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened? So this goes back. This is actually pretty funny. So long, boy, it must be at least 10 years ago, whatever. So I'm in Vegas. I'm at Bellagio, and some guy comes up to me, and he says, "Excuse me, you're a Sheets, right?" I said, "Yes, I'd like to show you something." So this French guy takes out his passport, and he shows it to me, and it says Eric Haber on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just started laughing. I mean, oh my God, that's so funny. He's like, "Yes, he's funny for you. But everybody come to me. Sheets this, sheets this."
That's hilarious. I couldn't believe there was another. I've never heard another one. And I mean, I was in the poker world for a while, so I just was like surprised. And you know, with other people though, it would have been totally out of the question. With you, there was still a thought in my head that somehow you had done a live show and then you had flown back for a thing to Vegas that you hadn't been telling us about or something. I don't know. I was like, maybe it's him. Maybe there's some way.
No, and then it's even worse because then what happens is that sometimes like he'll like this guy will like these guys pretty good. Like he'll cash for something and it'll go on like My Hendon Mob.
Oh,
like,
that's funny.
He'll like lose points and like player of the year stuff and things like that, you know? But the best is when like he's like deep in something and people recognize and they see go into like a final table, and then some people will actually come to kind of sweat and see if I'm there and to watch and whatever, say hello, and they won't see me there, and I'll get these texts like, "Sheets, where are you? You're late. You're not at the table. What's going on?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm in New York playing basketball. You know what I mean? I don't know what to tell you." It's like so every once in a while I'll get something like that. But no, and I tweeted about no, it is not in fact me, and I do hope he wins, but good for him. But yeah, Eric said there is another Eric Haber that plays poker. Actually, there's only one Eric Haber that plays poker, and that's him.
That's right. There used to be more.
Yep.
Yeah, it happened a few times where they announced my I don't know. I don't hear my last name is not very common, so like whenever they would announce like Steve Firestone, whatever in this event, I'm like, what is happening? That's my dad's name. So I had a few of those, but nothing quite like that. I did have one tournament I played with another, officially Robert Firestone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was weird, but we met briefly. He said he didn't play much, and I think that was like his one tournament. His wife lets him play once a year, I think it was. So it was just kind of funny though. But nobody was a regular like your guy.
By the way, I'll tell you something. This I don't want to say not on tilt about it. It's like so annoying. This MMA thing.
Oh yeah, what's going on?
It's tough. You know what? Listen. They deserved it. They won the multiple seats, but it's there's like one fight which is it's literally like you have to play it, and there's literally no way to know which side to play. Like it's like a totally pick 'em fight. Whoever wins the fight is 100% going to be in the optimal lineup. Maybe not 100%, but enough.
A good chance.
And the people that have multiple, and I'm just going to have to guess whatever. and the people that have multiple lineups can literally just like play both sides. It's so annoying.
That is kind of annoying. I don't know that they will though. It's pretty unusual. I don't know about specifically with MMA, but it's pretty unusual. People will do the same thing that will do that splitting thing at that, the higher level guy. You know what I mean? Like even in the
way the payouts are though, you kind of have to, I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
So not only do I have to get it right, but even if I get it right, I just know for sure that at least a couple of other people have it right too. You know what I mean? Like it's
right.
But well, whatever. We'll see. I have tricks. We'll see what I come up with.
Yep.
All right. So I just redid the projections. Let me just do this again. Let me just for fun, just see what's here. And yeah, I mean, I'm kind of more into today than you are, because I'm going to go live later at 11 for the main slate and also for the PGA lineup build.
Yeah, I'll join you for a little bit. I sort of had a different thing this Wednesday that I forgot about, but I think I could still maybe make it back before that.
Okay, cool.
Join you. So yeah. I want to try to join you for those things. They're a lot of fun, and I haven't been able to. Well, actually, it was only really the one time that I missed, but
yeah. So we can have I doubled my money in the MME lottery, okay, and then I hit 2 of the 3. I played the turn 2, those 222s. So I played those. Now, of course, that did not even almost make up for the 33.
Right.
I think I got 600th in that.
Yeah, I was right at the bottom of that one as well. I mean, I stacked the Dodgers, so it's nothing you can do.
Well, I started with, okay, so my main stack was as Arizona, but I made one thing. I said, you know what, let's just take one guy out so I can afford something else. So I took out Ketel Marte. So, thank you very much.
That's too bad. That's pretty awful.
Yep. Mike, do I really need to have to play Ketel Marte at 50? Yep, I do. I guess so.
It's the tricky thing. It's like you can get away with it sometimes, but it's always weird to leave the best hitters out of the stacks.
And then I played. What did I do? I played Cease and Verlander. I mean, Cease was good enough, I guess.
Yeah, Verlander wasn't, but it wasn't like anybody like there was getting hurt. It was more just that if you like the fucking Cutter Crawford did exactly what I would be afraid of. Like at ownership, with ownership too. And I was like, I'm still stand by. Like I was saying, let him do it one game first before we go for it. When we have all these weird options, and I was definitely didn't work out. I mean, Kershaw pitched great in real life, and so did Garrett Cole. But the next best pitcher was what's his name, wasn't it? Somebody scored.
Oh, Valdez.
Valdez,
yeah. What did he score?
I think he had 30, if I remember correctly. Or no, maybe not. Maybe he wasn't on the winning lineups, any of the winning lineups. Maybe that's what it was. I need the millionaire one. I was trying to look at it yesterday. Let's see.
So I'm going to redo these projections here. Then I'll one for the fans. I will redo a Saberson build to show you what it would look like. Okay. Yeah, I was actually surprised that when I ran the golf that there were so many good players playing.
Yeah, no, it's really wild. I went through a lot of it before. It's pretty interesting. And it's a big deal, this tournament, even though it's the week after the US Open. No, it was Cole with 30 with the one that was in the winning lineup. Detmers, of course, was crazy against the Dodgers, which I just don't understand the team. They're totally confusing to me. They hit all the good pitchers and they don't hit anybody else. Verlander was in like some top 5 lineups.
Was it Cole and Crawford? Did that win?
Cole, Crawford, yeah, and then I mean Cole Cease was really good. Like
some Colorado Cincinnati combination or something.
Yeah, and the Colorado thing was totally. What did they had like one hit going to the 9th inning or something.
That's true.
Or maybe it was the 8th inning. I don't know. It was late in the game. They had one hit. Maybe it could have even been the 6th or 7th. I might even be just totally mistaken it because I was so irritated with the slate I just stopped looking. So it was Arizona, Colorado. It's so weird to me. Like it's just like and it was a pretty chalky lineups that got there.
All right, so let's do this. Let me reshare my screen, and then let me let's just see what Saberson is going to give me now. I just updated the projections, by the way. Problem is, Marlins give Sandy too much leash. Oh, this I said that before. You know what? I'll take my chance. I think you want I think you were just talking about this, right? I think you want the leash.
Well, in general, yeah. Well, I was just saying that's why what was made him such a great pitcher was that he had this leash for so long, and so now we can't. It's hard to criticize a team for letting him pitch.
It's one of the, sometimes it's so funny. Like when depends on what you're rooting for. Like you typically when you have a pitcher pitching, like you want him in there. You know what I mean? Like it's more points.
Right.
But after a while, when he starts getting tired, and you're like, oh, I'll take my points. You just sense that he's about to get freaking chilled, especially the bad ones. You know what I mean? Like if you have like the Cutter Crawfords or these guys that you're just hoping for 12, and they got like 15, and then they leave him in for like the 6th. I'm like, oh no, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, no, I know it's bizarre. The weird thing is, like, if you look at over his last 5 starts, he hasn't thrown 100 pitches in a game. His previous 4 starts, he threw over 100 in every game. So actually, he's throwing way less pitches than he did last year.
This is Alcantara.
Significantly, yeah. Some of that's because he has been hit, but mostly it's not like they're like terrible games. Most of these games, it's just there's a few really bad ones and. There's not enough really good ones.
What kind of game did Stroman put up yesterday?
I don't know.
Yeah, dude, Saber Sim is just like they just have like season tickets to Arizona games. I think like
it makes a lot of sense, you know. And so does Cincinnati. Like that's the thing is that's why Cincinnati like it's showing up now. It was nice when we got all these guys cheap, but what's nice about these teams with power and speed, especially Cincinnati, like. You're going to make more money if you stack those teams just because they're going to get there they're going to steal a base. Like everybody on their team will like run basically, you know?
Geez, the guy that hadn't done anything in a while, the Winker hit a home run, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, he hadn't hit a home run all season. Then he hits the 2-run homer right away.
Yeah. Gausman, Bradley, Arizona.
I might save the people from my actual written out stuff and my plays of the day today. I really need to do something to mix it up because I cannot get anything. Everything I say, everything I've been doing is completely wrong.
Maybe the idea is that we get rid of that MSL unauthorized thing. Maybe
it doesn't really make a difference, but yeah,
maybe that's causing the results or something. I don't know.
No, because it's been going on way before with that.
Oh,
that's been for 6 months.
The fact that you even addressed that comment is like amazing.
What did I know what you're talking about?
No, you even gave it the time of day.
oh yeah. And then you doubled down on my lousy run. What is the tournament even for baseball tonight? Is it smaller than the day one? They do that on Wednesdays sometimes. Yeah. Oh no, it's the same size.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be again. Looks like it's going to be all the Arizona again. Let me see what FanDuel would look like. Take a quick look at the main slate. I haven't looked at it yet. You just literally just.
All right, I'll take a quick look.
First glance. I haven't even pulled it up on my list yet.
It's a 7 o'clock, by the way, not a 6:40 on.
No, the FanDuel 6:40.
Yeah.
So that means that there's one game, obviously, that FanDuel covers that DraftKings.
Yeah, probably. It's probably one. Maybe there's 2. I don't know. I haven't looked yet. Let's see. It's going to be. Oh yeah, people will play Casino. Well, Casino is going to be popular against the Yankees probably, and that's interesting. Ohtani against the Dodgers. I think you know what I'm gonna do. It's not gonna work, but I'm gonna probably play the Dodgers.
Oh, let's go.
That would probably be my lineup tonight. So maybe I won't even sell it on State Kings, and I won't even put it up because I just don't want anyone else to suffer anymore.
Wait. So dude, you played the 33, right?
Yeah, I finished 666.
I can't tell you. If I told you how much I bought of that, you'd feel bad.
Oh no! Don't make it worse, man. I'm sorry. It was so bad. It was so bad yesterday.
I was really feeling it. I went in there. I'm like,
oh man, I appreciate it.
I'm firing. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you even see that? How much a person buys?
No, you're not supposed to.
Right.
There's a couple of they'll like if you ask, they'll tell you certain things, but
Right.
yeah.
Let's see what we have here. Yeah, still Arizona. Let's get some Mets on FanDuel, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit. The pitchers just I'm just Gausman, Bradley, Gowan, and Abbott actually.
Yeah, Abbott is the other one that I thought would be real popular, but I'm not quite as sold as I was on some of the other plays, I guess.
So let me just put this in, and then what I'll do is I'm gonna join you in the FanDuel in the DraftKings lobby, just so we get a quick look at the at the main slate, just literally our first take, and we'll do that for like 10 minutes, and then we'll get out of here, and then we'll go into golf. How about that?
Yeah, and for what it's worth, I think that Ohtani and Castillo are gonna be the chalk.
Hang on, I'm gonna go there myself.
Yeah, I'll just talk through it though because there's no point of. Ohtani, Castillo. I think Darvish will have decent ownership. I actually think I would probably go Darvish, Castillo, or Whitlock. Anybody against Minnesota is going to be hard to just ignore. Probably I would consider that. It's weird that Martin Perez against the White Sox. That's something maybe I could do that a little different. I don't know if I need to do that though, but and the White Sox are better against lefties than righties for what it's worth. But Martin Perez is a capable enough pitcher at 5,900 where I think it's actually a pretty good place to spend down.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna look at literally right now. First time looking at the actual slate, draft teams. Okay. All right, so I'm looking at this and I see, okay, Tani's 11-1, but he's against the Dodgers. He's not gonna.
He's gonna be popular though.
Darvish is gonna be popular.
Yeah.
Whitlock 7K. Brito. Wow. Can you play Michael Grove?
I mean, you could. I don't think it's like a optimal thing to do. It's fine. You can take a shot. I just don't see any. What are you really gaining from doing that?
Well, yeah, it's the thing. Like, what kind of hitting are we looking at here? So, Sonny Gray. I guess we have to look at the weather, right? Kopech. I think Darvish is probably going to look the best. I think. Or maybe you're right. Maybe Castillo is going to get on. He's going to get.
He'll be the highest owned. I would be surprised if he's not. Maybe by the end of the day, Darvish and Ohtani get some of the ownership from him, but I don't think they'll get enough.
Can Brito be a play or no? Probably not. Okay.
I'm looking where.
I mean, he just hasn't pitched more than 5 innings, right?
It's really good pitching conditions in New York, though. It's not, it's 69 degrees out there for you guys, which for the summer is pretty good, pretty cool.
Yeah.
And 13-mile-an-hour winds blowing in from center. So, yeah, Brito hasn't really pitched deep enough into the game, but sure. I mean, it could work out. I think that if he was a little cheaper, I think I would be even better. I would make more sense to me. But again, what are you getting with these with these things?
I bet you the Angels actually against Grove are going to look good.
Yeah, I think the Angels will be popular.
Yeah,
I agree with that. I think it'll be the Angels. I think you'll have a lot on it's the White Sox run total, and they've been hitting the ball a little bit better, and their pricing is going to make them play. I think people will hesitantly, but still probably go back to Cleveland.
Hold on a minute here. I just figured out who the chalk's going to be. So this guy is going to be the chalk.
Gavin Williams.
Yeah, he's home against Oakland, and it says that he's arguably the best pitching prospect in baseball in the minors.
Yeah, I don't know how much they're going to throw him. You think you're right. Maybe by the end of the day he does get to be that high, but I think it's probably going to be more like 20, like in the 20s. You know what I mean? Percent. They just don't usually go crazy on these young guys.
Yeah,
sometimes they do. But usually not their first start.
They're gonna play it.
First major league start against the A's. I guess that's a pretty good favor they did to him.
Yeah, Yep.
You get the A's. The thing is, the A's are it's fun and all, but like they do annoy you because they just run and steal bases every time.
I hope he's ready, right? Righty again. Yeah. Hope he doesn't walk this first batter.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, I'll get it. You know, maybe I will. I'll throw in for the night slate and just get a little action going. But oh boy, it hasn't been pretty. I have my one angle of taking the Dodgers against Ohtani. I actually don't think it's a terrible idea. Ohtani obviously has been better in terms of consistency this year, and
I'll tell you what, if you play Freeman at 6,100 against Ohtani, you're gonna and you get away with that, you're gonna deserve it.
But I mean, it's not like Ohtani. I mean, he hasn't his last 3 starts. What is he? He's given up runs. Like what did he give up? He gave up 3, 4, 2.
Then again, so what? 6,100. Yeah, he can get there.
Yeah, he hit a home run. I don't think I'm actually going to start stacking the Dodgers my biggest buy-in, but I do think I don't mind. Like I'll probably get maybe a mini stack. Also, you can run on him a little bit.
Right.
I mean, but I don't even know what like with the Dodgers. It's hard to know what that means all the time.
You get to use these dudes. You'll get to use either Peralta or Hayward at under 3K if you want.
Yeah.
How'd this guy do? Same as all the other guys. I was about to say how DeLuca did.
This was nothing.
Same as everything. But interesting to note, by the way, that he did get 4 at bats.
That's because the pitcher was rolling.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't really mean anything.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those things. Whereas one-offs, you like that thing. I'm also really annoyed because I had Daniel Carlson as a one-off, like all over the place.
Yeah.
And somehow still couldn't make anything work with it. He hit 2 home runs and he was 2,600. And they still pinch hit for him. I can't get over this, Sheets. It drives me absolutely nuts. I really think it can't be the right way to manage. I don't care about the righty-lefty splits. When you're up by 4 or 5 and a guy's hit 2 home runs, just let him hit.
Yeah.
I've never agreed with it. I never will agree with it. If it's a postseason and it's an elimination game or something, then fine.
Yeah, this was I got 8th in the lottery last night.
Oh wow.
That was the Carlson.
Geez, that's a good lineup.
Yeah, it's one of it was a mass.
If you would have played, no, I'm just kidding.
Right. If all I did, if I played that in the qualifier.
Oh man, was a millionaire.
And that was with McMahon with only a 4 ball.
Yeah.
But this was the great the Eric Johnson, the once and future King Nolan Jones with his 38 fantasy points.
Well, Nolan Jones wasn't that was not a sneaky play. It was one of the most popular plays in the slate.
No,
but Johnson pointed something out.
What was the exchange? You're like, he just
said he's an amazing spot for Nolan Jones to hit a home run, and I just was like, what makes it so amazing? Like,
because he was against a lefty or something, right?
Right. Well, he's facing a righty, and is that it? Because the guy who was facing hadn't given up any home run. Like what made it, and also in baseball, outside of like the top 10 hitters in baseball, like. There really is, and even then, there's never a time where anybody should ever hit a home run. And I think people in DFS have it completely warped, and they're like, "God, I can't get anything out of this guy." And it's like, okay, he's 0 for 1 in the 3rd inning. Like he didn't hit a home run his first at bat, so can't get anything out of him. It's just people can't treat it like basketball. Basketball, you can get frustrated by that kind of stuff, but baseball, it's crazy too because you should expect your hitters to never ever hit a home run. Nobody's ever supposed to hit a home run.
Now, again, not that I'm complaining, but Edmund got out with 2 outs in the 9th with 2 guys on, and Cease got robbed. Man, he left the game like he was like a lock to get the win, and then the bullpen just caved in.
Yeah, their bullpen has been shaky this year after being so good last year.
Let's see what would do. Actually, I lost my full 20 points.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's a pretty good lineup.
Look at the winner. Yeah, the winner had Crawford and Cole.
I don't even consider this to be like there's nothing impressive about that. Nothing to take away from here.
Yeah, I just want to literally see who won.
And he did the other thing. He did a 4-3-1 or 5-2-1. Is that what it was? 5-2-1.
Oh, this guy was 2nd and 3rd. I like that. That's fun.
Tell you, he probably doesn't like.
Oh,
it.
add 5th. Who won the
Says somebody, I don't know.
The big one. Let's see.
completely uninteresting to me.
I want to see the
What are you playing right now? What's live?
tennis.
Oh, okay. What tournament? I didn't even know there was a tennis tournament going on right now.
It's always marginal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even find the 330. I mean, the 333 is like it's just a horror show.
Yeah, it's some. I don't know. It's so uninteresting just to look at the same lineups to me over and over again.
Yeah.
No. I mean, we could. It's fine. It's cool.
All right. So this is what we're going to do. Let me log off.
Okay.
And then we can log back in, and then we can
Okay.
go.
Sounds good, buddy.
Okay.
All right. Be right there.